online.
I'll take over from here. So yeah, hi, I'm Anuvarat Parashar. I work at Reviews 42, and my day job includes, crawling lots and lots of e-commerce portals to index their products, the products that they're selling online, and doing some analysis on that. So I'm going to talk about the tool that helped me a lot in this task, which is Scrapy. So before we get started, so you guys had your refreshments, right? Is everybody fresh? Doesn't sound like there was a no from here. So, hello, hi, namaste, vanakkam. Okay, fine. So you did not respond, man. Hi, hello, hi. That sounds more like it. Okay, cool. So I guess I already did with it. Fine. My talk includes lots and lots of demo. So there are very few slides. I'll not be talking a lot. How many of you have been doing web scraping? Scraped web. Lots and lots of hands going up. So somebody can say, how do you do it on a normal day? The steps that you follow. So basically, since you all know what is web scraping, you've already done it, right? What is it? Anything, just a statement would do. Yeah. You started with regular expressions. Okay, cool. Beautiful soup. Huh? Yeah, parser module about beautiful soup. So basically, Scrappy, of course. So how do you approach the problem? It's like, in a very basic crawler, what would you do? You'll download a page, extract all the URLs, queue the URLs that you found, right? And then recursively keep looping over them, right? Extract more, pick up a URL, download it, parse the contents, parse and extract the content that you're looking for, right? Save it in a DB, and then go ahead and pop another one and keep looping over until you say you're satisfied, or probably the portal blocks you, right? So yeah, that's the basics of web scraping in a nutshell. So since it seems so simple, why wouldn't you just go ahead and write a Python script to do it? Like it's very simple, right? One thing, I mean, did you guys write a Python script to achieve it? Have you tried writing a script? Say, raise hands, how many? Okay, quite a few. So you must have realized that there was excessive boilerplate. If you're crawling, say, one portal, or say up to 2 or 3 websites that you're crawling, it's a simple task. You can just write your scripts, run them, and be done with it. But if the number of websites that you're crawling for similar data is, say, 10, 20, or even 50 or something, if it's that number, you'll be writing the same code over and over again. The same thing, queuing the stuff, downloading it, parsing it, repeating it, or otherwise. So that's one thing. You'll write the boilerplate code. And when you'll try to tweak stuff, it'll be difficult because it grows in the length, right? When you try to say, there are problems. Anyone heard of spider traps? Spider traps? So those are like URLs which are designed to trap your spider when you go to the websites. You'll find URLs like falanadimkana.com/foo/bar/foo/bar. It will go on in depth, and basically your crawler will never come out of their site. Believe me, I've stumbled upon them, and there is a Wikipedia page about spider traps. It's a reality. So for these kind of cases, you will end up writing a lot of code to just counteract that. And in the end, if you are a good developer, if you are a lazy developer, which is synonymous to a good developer, you'll end up writing. You'll try to automate your tasks, write libraries for yourself, and in the end, you'll write your own framework, which is good if you're trying to learn. But if you're on a deadline and you need to submit the project, that is not the path that you would like to go on. So I'll show you why we scrape data at Reviews 42. So this is reviews 42. Say you want to look for say some phone. Basically what we do is we try and get, you know, products being sold online. So this, what you're seeing here is a sample listing of a page. You've got prices from 17 stores up there. The SEO team. So you've got like sample stores selling a lot of, basically this particular product that I looked for, it was Samsung Galaxy S2. It's being sold on n number of e-commerce portals up there. And what we wanted to do was know where, at what price and where it is being sold. That's one of the business problems that we are trying to solve. So the task was to go out and find all the e-commerce that were selling them, and then figure out, because not one of them, you know, follows. Everyone does not follow the same naming convention. Someone will write S2, someone will write S and 2 else to signify that it is 2. So there, you know, download the data, gather it, and then do some analysis on it to get the end result that you're seeing here. So we crawl like 500,000 URLs every day to get these price listings up here and their availability and stock. So this task of scraping all the information becomes really difficult with the scale, as is the case with every problem that you face. Simple at a smaller case, you know, unmanageable when it grows up. Which is where Scrappy helped me a lot. So Scrappy is a web framework. Scrappy is a framework developed by Pablo Hoffman. He's available as Pablo Hoffman. His basically screen name is Pablo Hoffman on GitHub, on Twitter, everywhere. Very helpful guy. It's written in Python, entirely in Python, based on Twisted. Heard of Twisted? How many people have heard of Twisted? Okay, couple of you. Have you tried, those who have heard of it, have you tried to write code on it? No. Why? Was it too twisted? Yeah, that was the case with me as well. The first time I came across Twisted, I couldn't really comprehend it, but now it's fine. But Scrapy comes with the goodness of Twisted. You don't have to understand how Twisted works. You just have to write your own code. It's for crawling the web, meant for extracting structured data. That is what most of us have to do when we are crawling the web. Testing, basically you can go on and test your own apps as well, the way, you know, you were doing with Selenium in the last talk. And you can do some dark stuff, you know. Basically, if you are having multiple nodes, you can go ahead and do a DDoS, which is something that you should not do. And yeah, etc., whatever comes to your mind. Okay, so from now on, we'll just switch over to the terminal. Don't we love it? So, can you guys see it? Is it visible? Now? Okay. So I just cooked up a basic script that would let me crawl IMDb. This is what it looks like. Say somewhere around 50 lines of code. Pretty cool because it's Python. Still, it basically, what does it do? It starts crawling. I've got a crawl queue up there where you push in all the URLs that you're trying to crawl. Then you've got like a for loop, pops everything. Basically, since you do not get an absolute URL every time, you have to append the host name xyz.com to it, and then go ahead, download the URL, make a tree for it, and basically, if the URL is the thing that you want to parse, so that's like, then you push it to your parse queue, download it again, and download the next URL, go on and on. Works pretty well. So that's like, I'll show you. So for example, the parser that I've written is downloading everything and trying to all the movies that are there on top 50 chart. So let me show you the web page as well. So yeah, top 250 movies, that was what I was trying to crawl. And where is it? So those are the movies, and what you see in the other window are the time stamps, basically the duration of the movie that's available on their basically dedicated page over here. Basically this thing that you see. For Shawshank Redemption, it's 142 minutes. But this script is frankly unmanageable. This small task was very simple. Once you go on and try to add more logic to it, that okay, I don't just want to scrape 250 titles. I want to go more deeper into the website and say add more conditions. It'll become just unmanageable, and after some time you'll go mad. So this is where Scrapy comes to your rescue. Okay, so I have Scrapy installed here. This thing right here, is it visible? Okay, I have Scrapy installed here. It installed Twisted, a couple of libraries which it needs, and now since I'm also it's installed in my virtual env. I'm there. I have activated it, so I can. I have got a couple of commands to help me write my spider. Here they are. So you can, just like Django. Actually, there have been a couple of posts on the internet which kind of complain that Scrapy has copied stuff from Django. Pablo Hoffman responds very, respectfully, says it's not copying, it's inspiration. And that's how art works, right? Programming is an art. So start project. What we do is we start a project. What do you call? Let's call it. Okay, so the earlier script that you saw was the dumb way of doing it. Now we are doing it the Scrappy way. Okay, so we see it created a file. It created a directory called PyCon scrape for us. Let's go inside it. Okay, that's an empty project. All we see here is init.py. We all know what that means, right? Anybody who doesn't understand what init.py is? No hands. Cool. All of us are Pythonistas now. Items.py is analogous to models.py in Django. Someone who doesn't understand what that is? No one. Excellent. Pipeline is something that we'll come to later on. Settings is again settings.py where you define your settings. As simple as that. Here is the spiders, and of course the configuration file. So whatever logic. So what you crawl, the question what goes inside items.py. What you will crawl, you will define a structure for that in items.py. How you will crawl it will go inside spiders. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So next thing we are going to do is generate a spider. Okay, so the last command was analogous to starting a project. Django has the same thing. This one is analogous to the start app command that you have in Django. Basically, this is going to create one spider for you. The parameters here are okay. Let me show you the parameters first. Okay, so look at this thing here. Template, right? So basically you can define a couple of templates, number of templates that you want to base your spider on. If you're kind of writing similar spiders over and over again, you can define a template that will generate your kind of spider. Right now we are going to use something that is default, that's crawl spider. Basically it lists also all the spiders that are available. So these are the spiders that it has. That this is something that you get off the shelf. Basic, crawl, CSV, XML feed. XML is like, then you have more like on the demo side you have got something that can crawl the sitemaps. So you do not have to rewrite the logic. You can just substitute the spider and be done with it. Okay, let's generate a spider. Just a sec. And the name of the spider, that is say IMDb, and then you are supposed to provide the domain. Okay, there we go. It says created an IMDb spider in the module PyCon script.spiders.imdb. Let's see what it did. So imdb.py is a file that has been created. Okay, this is the file that has been created. So here, basically Scrappy needs a name to refer to every module, every spider. That's the name that we have provided, IMDb, since we are going anything, this can be anything. Allowed domains. Frankly, if you're crawling a website, there can be links from n number of websites there. So normally you would have an if condition in every script that you generate. Okay, I am going to crawl XYZ portal here and I do not want links from other websites to creep into my crawl queue. For something of that kind, it's just one line. Otherwise, it would have been like checking all that stuff. Start URLs, we define the particular page that we want to crawl, right? So for the demo, since I'm using the top 250 movies from IMDb, I'm going to use just that. The URL for this thing says okay. Okay, so we are going to edit the start URL thing. Okay, and so for example, since what happened to it? Yeah. So since we want to scrape the pages of all these movies, bottom IMDb chart. What is this? Okay, anyways, IMDb has that as well. Nice. Anyways, let's go on with it. So how do you find what you want to scrape? Right? Okay, so what we want to scrape is right here, isn't it? Yeah, right here, isn't it? So what we want it to do is download this page and extract all of these URLs. Similar to something that you've done, is it? Is it not? Right? So what would you do if you wanted something of this kind? You would download the page, extract all of these URLs from the page, and then put them in your crawl queue, right? The queue that your crawler is going to pop out from for downloading them, right? So here, there is just one single line that you have to write. This is basically a rule that your spider will follow, right? Don't get intimidated by this SGML link extractor. It's a very simple class that does exactly that. Downloads and extracts. And then according to the directions that you provide, that is like allow here, what we see is all of these URLs here have got this particular pattern called title here, right? We can use this pattern here. and this particular line says allow title, and whenever you find a URL of that kind, right, download it and call the function called parse item if you find it. Okay, so this is what it does. Whenever it finds that thing, it will call here. So let's just okay, so okay, is it visible? Visible? Yeah. So it has got a couple more commands for you now that you have generated a spider. The commands that you see here are crawl, deploy, and a whole lot of stuff to basically help you run your spider and crawl stuff. One of them is the crawl command. There's the spider starting up. Okay, internet is too fast here. Anyways, so you see a couple of hey I'm here's, right? Basically, whenever it found that particular URL, it went into that block. Okay, I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to go to the element extraction thing now. So basically, what I've shown here is finding the particular URLs that you want to follow, downloading them, and going to and now you can go ahead and parse and extract the item that you need. Fine, cool. Now I'm going to show a particular utility from Scrapy which can help you do that. Say, for example, this is the Scrapy shell. Rather, I should say, behold the Scrapy shell. Okay. When you come here, this is one of the sample pages that you want to scrape your data from. What do you see? See, let's say I want to extract the title. I would inspect the element. I would try to find the particular way to get to this item. So I should have asked this before. How many of you are familiar with XPath? See a couple of hands going up. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is write an XPath, and it's a fairly simple thing, and it'll just basically what you do is you specify a path right from the root HTML node and move your way through every tag to the particular element that you want to extract. Okay, it's very similar to paths in HTML, paths in say Unix, and though it's called XPath, you can fairly well extract HTML data using that as well. So, okay, this is the element that we want to extract, right? Scrapy shell is going to help us do exactly that, though you can do it in browsers as well these days. In the Scrapy shell, what we are going to do is download the page. Believe it or not, the task of writing a spider is more time consuming than maintaining or running it, because the time that it takes to figure out each and every individual element that you have to extract. I mean, how many times have you written how many times have you run an entire script just to figure out whether the particular element that you wanted extracted is being extracted? This will help basically ease your task a lot. So what I did was I gave a command called fetch. It downloaded the page and created a tree for me. That's how you parse an HTML file, right? Whichever way you have used. So what have you used? Someone said beautiful soup here, right? Other common ways, PyQuery, that's another common way. But almost all of them use LXML behind the scene. try to abstract LXML and basically XPath for you. And that's pretty fast way of doing that. H-axis here, is it visible to the backside as well, right? Okay, H-axis here is, as you can see, HTML XPath selector, and that's what we're going to extract stuff. So the thing that we wanted to extract was, say, it's an H1, right? So we say /H1 because we do not know where in the whole path it's going to occur. Had it been the first thing, we would have said /H1, but because it's there somewhere in the tree, we say /. Go look for it anywhere. Or rather, I should give a demo. Basically, these are the H1 tags that are occurring there. Wait a sec. This thing had H1 header, and then span, say, item prop is name. We're just going to specify this here. So if you are getting intimidated by the XPath, it's a very simple way of fetching nodes, and you can learn it in no time. And there are lots and lots of tutorials online that can help you do that. Is it correct? Those who know XPath, am I writing it correctly? Firefox will actually give you basically from HTML, it will give you an absolute XPath in most of the cases. But normally you don't want to do that because it will give you just, say, if you are trying to extract a whole list of elements, then an absolute XPath will give you just one element. But you would want all of them. In that case, it wouldn't work. And anyways, we've got it, right? What we wanted was the title from here, and we have it there. Cool enough? Okay. So this is the XPath for the title. And so what do you do next? Once you have the data that you want to extract, you try to save it to the DB, right? Okay. So that is where the file that I had last shown comes into play. Remember the items.py, the models.py ka analogous version? Let's get into that file now. Okay. Find it similar? How many people find it similar? Familiar? Cool. So what we are trying to extract is, say, title of the movie. Okay. Fine. Once we have basically defined the schema, then we will go back and just the way it shows in the, basically I don't think the commented version is visible, is it? No. Okay. So basically once you have found it, what you're going to do is try to save it in the DB. Fine. So the XPath is right here. Rather, I'll just copy the whole thing. Okay. I was the item, and the element that I'm trying to extract was movie title, right? Basically, that's all you have to do. You specified the portal that you're crawling, you specified a start URL, you specified how you want it to be crawled, and then you specify what you want crawled, and your spider is ready. Okay? In short, you're done. But the one thing that we have not done yet is specify where we want this thing to go. So what it is trying to get is every title, right? You see movie title, Die Hard and stuff that has come out. right? The scroller is working. Now you define how you want to save it, the process where you want to save it to the DB. Scrapy will give you the freedom to save it wherever you want. Okay, I'm going to show. You have a host of packages called pipelines that can help you basically for okay, I skipped the file pipeline.py earlier. It's a module that lets you define how the data that you've extracted goes to the DB and which DB it goes to. So as you can see here, you've got a couple of pipelines like Scrapy MongoDB or this one, or say CouchDB or whatever, wherever you want the data that you are extracting to go to. So sorry. I have Scrappy MongoDB already installed in my environment. I'm just going to go ahead with it and edit my settings basically, or rather, like we always do, copy the settings from another file that we have already created. Okay. So this is another file that we skipped last time. This is the settings. Okay. What we're defining here is the server that we are going to use, localhost. It's already running on your machine. The DB. Say, how many of you are unfamiliar with Mongo? Okay, that's pretty huge number. Never mind. So at the crux of it, MongoDB is a database where the DB is obviously analogous to DB and collection is analogous to the tables. So don't get baffled with the details. It's a simple thing. Okay. Now we have basically our entire spider setup. If I run the crawl now and say go to the DB as well, okay. So I basically started my spider. It's crawling IMDb, and we should have our database here. Right. So the thing ran, and what we specified here was the DB was Scrapy. We are going to use the DB. Okay. So what we did was we tried to scrape stuff, and what we tried to extract has been extracted. So you see the titles here, right? Now we're going to try and modify what we have already done. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I missed a setting here. You also have to define the pipeline that you're going to use. Okay, fine. So our current setup looks something like this. Items.py has got the items that we defined, right? The particular, what we are crawling is the title, right? Following up here. Then we have got, basically we are not defining a pipeline of our own. What we are going to use is MongoDB pipeline that we have already, that somebody has already created for us. Settings.py, we define the settings using which the spider is going to push the data to the database, whatever is being crawled. And in the spiders, imdb.py, we have defined the process of how that particular data is going to be crawled. Now we run our spider and we go to the database to try and check out what's being scraped. Okay. Okay, so the collection that we had specified there, called PyCon scrape, has been created. As it would be a little difficult for non-Mongo users to understand that something of, you did not actually go and create the database, but it has been created. Do not panic, it's very normal in Mongo. So basically, this is one of the elements that was extracted and is being shown. Oh, the spider is still running out there. And we can see the elements that were extracted by them. Now, what you see is lots and lots of new lines there, right? Those are because what XPath did was, XPath tries to extract a list of elements from there. What got extracted has been dumped into MongoDB. MongoDB does not complain whether you store a list into it or a string. So that's what you're seeing there. And so now what we are going to try to do is, this would have been very simple had you been writing a simple script as well. But now we are going to try to do something that would increase complexity had you been writing a normal script. So let's say try to extract one more element from there. And this time I'm not going to waste time trying to show how you're going to write an XPath. I'm just going to copy the XPath that I've already written. Say the duration of the movie is available via this XPath. Okay. It's 2 more minutes. Last demo. Is this, and we are also going to use the XPath for the title. Yeah, sure. 2 minutes, just the last demo. Okay. So the title is available via this XPath. So this is my file. I'm just going to paste the XPath here. Okay, so hxs dot select. And okay, the XPath is for title is this. Since the strings have got trailing spaces, we are going to strip them out. Okay. Let it be. I'm just going to use something that we have already done. Let me just show you something that is already created since we are running out of time. This has the same settings, just with strings in the end as well. Okay, fine. So what we are going to do is clear the database that we just created to purge all the elements. Right, now that the scraper is running, basically what it would do is show you data in this type. You'll get something of this kind, which basically tells what the title has been extracted and the duration. That's something that we wanted to do. I'll close here and ask for questions.
Thank you. Thanks for the rapid fire round. We'll take few questions here.
What if you don't know the XPath, or you want to analyze your whole web page and get your data?
Basically, XPath is something that you would need if you want to extract structured information from there.
If you got a whole page, and out of which somewhere there is a title page or some duration or some rating.
Yeah.
Is this possible with Scrappy?
Yes. So there is a sister project of Scrapy called Scrapy. You can check it out on Pablo's GitHub page. It's called Scrapy, SCRAPELY, and what it does is you can specify the location. Basically, it's based on artificial intelligence concepts, and you can specify what particular information from you need. So you can give it a sample page and a sample data that's occurring there, and it'll train itself and try to extract it. It's still an experimental phase, but yes, they're working on it, and it's going to be awesome.
Hello, thanks for this comprehensive seminar.
Sure, thank you.
You told about the rule stuff, right, where we
Yeah.
can quote the title and all.
Indeed.
So my question is how to scrap a particular website maintaining a domain. Like we have a URL pass where we can split it into netlock and paths, etc.
Exactly.
Schemes, etc. So how to take care of those things in that? I mean, I want only the netlocks to be passed. Scheme.
So basically, yes, you can use URL parse library in that case.
Okay. So how we can implement that thing? Just in the rule itself, where we are trying to use this allow equal to where you have inserted title. So how we will manipulate that?
So you can specify the domain exactly, or basically the rules thing that I showed you. You can specify any pattern. This thing, as you see, the R prepended to it. R title, it's a regex. So you can define any pattern. So it can be the domain of another. It can be the netlog of another domain, but in that case you'll have to specify up there that domain and allow domains as well, because then you're going to another domain. Okay.
Can we pass the post parameter when we hit the site using Scrappy?
Can you?
Can we pass the post parameter?
Pass the post parameter.
Yeah.
Yes, those things are on a little advanced level. They can be done, and I'll give an example of I'll give an example case that we have faced. So a couple of e-commerce portals that we crawl use JavaScript for paginating their data, and in that case you basically just can't get to the next page because there is no link on this page to follow, right? In that case, what we do is we use a custom spider that we have written, a custom link extractor instead of SGML. What it does is that we figure out, we basically sit down, this takes a little bit of time, and we figure out the request that is going to the server, which you can, relate to hacking, but it's not really that advanced. You figure out the parameters that it's sending and the page that it is getting, the response that it is getting, and that way, so basically we use normal ways, Kenneth's request, for example, use those things and get the stuff done.
Thank you. You can take the questions.
Sure.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Even I just like few days back I was writing a crawler.
Okay.
Like I've gone through this. Like I have like specific requirement. Like when I was crawling, there's a condition like there are certain pages that when you got registered and you have like sessions with them, then only you can crawl.
Authentication and stuff.
Yes.
So yes, there are modules which let you do that.
Like if you go to an Amazon page, like if you can go to a cart only, then only it will display the price of the cart.
Sure. So basically, go on to Scrappy, go to the documentation. There is a particular thing called authentication module, which takes your.
Can I define the flows in Scrappy, like flow chart kind of stuff? That this is the diagram. Like on the basis of this flow, decide whether to use this kind of module or this particular.
Sure. So for example, what you're referring to is configuring. You can achieve all of that using rules.
Okay.
So the thing that there is, what I used for the demo is just one rule.
Yeah.
Basically, you can have a list of rules. Okay. In that case, you can define, say, if you match one particular regex, go to this particular parse function. Yeah. If you match another regex, go to this particular parse function. In the same spider.
No. I'm asking like there might be a condition that I have to decide on like I extracted the HTML.
Yes.
And in that HTML, I didn't find that particular tag.
Okay.
So I found an alternative tag. On the basis of that tag, I have to go for an authentication page.
Okay.
And then like it might be a JavaScript click event that will redirect me to that authentication page.
Okay.
I get the authentication done. Once the authentication done, I need to input certain data over there. Once the data is being done, then only I can get that information that I'm looking for. So how it could be achieved?
You know what? Contact me after. It's a very long question. I'll contact you after the conference. Any other questions, please? There, this one. Yes, you can use it. Basically, it's just, so for example, if you can get to that URL, it'll parse it. And you can, if it's Ajax, you don't need to crawl. If they are giving you an API. Yes. Exactly. So what I did for Flipkart, I am crawling Flipkart, and what I did for Flipkart was write a custom link extractor. And in that case, we basically, for every page, for every listing page, we figure out the post request that goes there, and the response that we get, we try to extract all the URLs for the content stuff, for all the items, and then push all those things into the crawl queue. That can be JSON. So the response comes as JSON. Inside the JSON, you find what Flipkart does. It puts the JSON inside an HTML. So basically, you have to load the JSON and then try to parse the HTML and extract. Exactly. Yeah. No, it's not rendering. You can just load the JSON, pass it to the parser.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.